I nominated Larry because he is truly the definition of what a person, a Hall of Famer is. Larry Martin has been umpiring for close to 50 years, and he has been an example to all of us who have umpired after him. He's taught us so much and given so much to the game of softball. It was really a no-brainer for us. He is really, on this side of town in the Wayne County area, truly everybody knows Larry, and he's a legend to all of us that have umpired after him.
There's lots of things about Larry that make him such an outstanding umpire.
He does not get rattled. If there's a close call and the team is, upset or anything, he just knows how to handle the situation. He stays calm. He's got that demeanor about him, where after a while, it's almost impossible not to like the guy. He always had a consistent strike zone, just consistency. Part of being a good official is consistency, and you knew what you were getting when Larry Martin umpired a game.
Larry has been an official in Dearborn for more than 50 years, and because of his longevity and skills, he was inducted into the United States Specialty Sports Association Hall of Fame.
Everybody respected Larry. Everybody liked Larry. Larry, I would say, in all my years, and I've been around for 40, Larry's the most respected umpire I've ever seen. A lot of the things that I learned from Larry early on in my career is what has gotten me through my career, to be honest with you. Just his overall demeanor. I've never heard him say a bad thing on the field. I've never heard him lose his composure. So for me, when early on in my career and even later when things sometimes weren't going my way, I always think, how would Larry handle this? And that would always get me through. He's really been somebody that I've looked up to, that I love the guy. He has meant so much to me and to a lot of other umpires in this area.
I nominated Susan Somerville, now Courtright, to the Dearborn Hall of Fame in large part because her entire life has been based around the sport of tennis, but more so it originated here in the city of Dearborn. Her family grew up playing at off of Ford Road, a small clay court by the Dearborn YMCA. But I think she was just raised in a community, and particularly by two parents they saw the vehicle of tennis as a way to get an education, to be around a sense of like friends, community. That was how it all started. But it's important to note with the Somerville family, tennis, Dearborn community have been interlocked for 50 years here.
Susan's tennis career may have started in Dearborn, but the game led her to courts across the country and overseas.
Tennis has taken Susan Somerville Courtright to college at Duke University. It's taken her overseas to play professionally with the WTA. It's taken her to Ann Arbor, Michigan to work as a coach for the University of Michigan women's tennis team. And currently it's taken her all over the state of Michigan and working for the USTA. So tennis has in many ways been her vehicle to travel the world and be a lifelong sport, which is something that Susan is still very involved in under the message where she works daily with the U.S. Tennis Association, that it's a sport you can kind of play for your whole life, and I think she's embodied it for much of her own.
Susan has been dedicated to the sport of tennis her whole life, and for those that know her, it's easy to see why.
Her love of the game is extremely genuine. She learned a lot from her mother and father, growing the game from a grassroots level, that it's a very inclusive sport. It brings like fellowship, community, all of those things together. I think that's been something that has been really consistent in Susan's life, is using tennis to bring all walks of life together under the guise of sport. And I've found through the years that wherever Susan is, inside or outside the tennis community, her genuine love and support to grow the game is extremely well received by a number of her peers.
Mark Shushanian is a name well known around our town, and he is an excellent candidate for the Legend Recreation Hall of Fame in Dearborn, basically because his unwavering dedication over the last 30 years to student athletes throughout Dearborn. As many of you know, Mark spent almost his entire career as a teacher and educator, athletic director, helping out student athletes at Fortson High School. While at Fortson, Mark not only was a great mentor to young athletes, but he also developed lifelong friendships, and that's something that many young athletes are really striving for, someone to look up to, somebody they can count on. And Mark was always there as a coach, as an athletic director, and as an educator for anybody that needed help and anybody that wanted to excel in athletics at Fortson High.
What I believe my dad, it makes him a good coach, is today is seeing the countless, his former players around the city. You know, every time, you know, someone sees my name or just I introduce myself, they give me that look and they always ask, like, is Mark your dad? And, you know, I say, of course, you know, and just the countless stories about how he's, you know, helped them along at some point in their life, whether it was during school, during life, or getting a job afterwards. You know, it left an impact on them. So I think that his involvement during his time there really helped shape a lot of his former athletes.
And Mark was probably one, if not the closest coach I've ever had in my entire career, and that spans even throughout my college years as well. He was always one that I could pick up the phone and call no matter what the situation I was in my life, and ask him for anything. And he may not have the answer, but I always felt like he'd be one that would do it to the best of his ability to try to guide me in a way. And if I needed help with something else, he would be one that I could count on to provide that either guidance or assistance or something.
Not only was Mark committed to his career at Fortson High School, but he also went above and beyond the call of duty and signed up to serve as a city councilman in Dearborn for over 24 years, where he again demonstrated his leadership and his commitment to every resident in Dearborn, helping build a better Dearborn.
For those that know my dad, he was not a politician. He wanted to do what was right in the community, you know, and his passion was recreation. And he always, you know, talked about that. We always utilized the parks growing up, the pools. We were at the baseball fields. So when he took that seat, he made sure that, you know, everyone involved had that opportunity to be a part of a recreation, but not only be a part of it, but have first-class fields and facilities to be on.
For me, I could tell you, Mark was really an ambassador for the city throughout his whole life. Many people know Mark, and people that don't have to understand that Mark represented Dearborn everywhere he went, and he did it in a fashion that really could make everybody proud. He demonstrates his commitment and his loyalty to not only Fortson and Dearborn, but all the people that he's helped along the way.
The Van Patrick Award exemplifies everything you want in a student athlete, right? And Elena has all those qualities. She's, you know, first off, she's a great student in the school. She's a leader in our school, and then you think about all the athletic attributes that she has. I think she fits a lot of the qualities that the Van Patrick Award stands for.
While it's an individual award, Elena is always focused beyond herself.
I definitely love the feeling of winning and the feeling of when my team performs well on and off the court, and the feeling of when we win a district. The adrenaline off of that is just a great feeling.
I think she's just really intelligent. She's been part of our program for so long. She knows the ins and outs of what we do offensively and what we do defensively, and it's just everything is natural for her on the hardwood. She just picks up and plays basketball, and I think she's one of the best shooters that we've ever had here. It's a beautiful form, and then like every time she lets it go, you think it's going in.
Elena is driven to not only make herself better, but lifting up her teammates is just as important.
I've loved the feeling of being around the culture, being around family. You know, I grew up with them, I built stronger bonds with them that's like lasted. It's gonna last on and off the court, and I feel like that's what I love most about it.
I think our younger girls do look up to her. I think they see what she does in practice. They see her approach to practice on a daily basis, and I definitely feel like the girls look up to her. I definitely feel like she's a great attribute to our team and one of our great leaders.
I've definitely learned how to instill a lot of self-confidence and perseverance. I feel like I've learned how to become a better leader every day and a good person overall. I feel like I fought a lot over adversity, and I feel like that would help me a lot in the future, especially becoming a leader.
So she's going to be doing great things in life because of all the great qualities as a student.
We nominated Maisie because, I mean, she is the definition of a student athlete, definition of everything that it takes to play 4 sports in a school season. She's 99.9% of the time the hardest working player in the gym. Teammates look up to her, which is a natural feature to have when you're a good athlete, but she backs it up. She leads by example.
You always know when Macy Gerlach is on the field or the court. You know, she, on top of being a sensational teammate, her competitive drive is unmatched. Her work ethic is unmatched. The level of accountability that she holds for herself is so high. And I believe that that has heavy influence within all aspects of her life.
Maisie has learned so much from playing 4 sports in high school.
I've learned that it's better to lead by action, that you don't always have to use your words to lead, and that a lot of people look up to you and how you play and how you compete, and they follow the same way. And I always work hard. I never go less than 100% if I can't. I always push myself the hardest, and I like to push other players.
It's who Maisie is as a person that really stands out, no matter which sport she's participating in.
We built the team around her because we've had to, and again, that's a compliment to her hard work over her 4 years, and honestly, the 8 to 10 years before that as playing when it was just a fun game, and then now you go out there every day competing in the league, and everyone's gunning for her with technology and film. Everyone's prepared, and she still shines through the game.
She is the best. She is the most humbled. She cares so deeply for those around her. And her biggest goal is to always make those around her better people, better athletes. And what a great kid to have, you know. Those are just things you can't coach.
We nominated Lexi as our Female Athlete of the Year because she is just an all-around team player, and she's so well-rounded, such a great leader for all, not just the athletic end of things, but in the classroom and in the leadership services around here as well.
Her work ethic is impeccable, and that is the main reason that I nominated her for this, because what she's had in challenges, she's overcome with her work ethic.
She's locked in from the second she walks into the gym, and she gives it everything she has. And she not only does that with words, but in action. So she's a great example for all the younger players, and she's able to lead by both words and actions.
Lexi's dedication to all of the teams she plays on has taught her so much.
I've learned that not everything is, given to you, and that you have to work hard to get to the spot to perform and be successful. I've been a team captain for multiple years, and I really like to build connections and relationships with every girl on the team because I just love connecting with them, and I love being the person where they can just go up to and ask anything of, and I feel like I am that, so.
It's obvious to her coaches that Lexi is committed to her team's success.
Her attitude to approaching any kind of skill or drill is all in. She basically communicates so effectively to her teammates that everybody wants to be around her, everybody wants to do well with her.
Lexi's one of the best team players. She lives by the saying, we, not me. She will do whatever it takes to help the team. She's been, for us, a defensive specialist, so she can just shut down the other team's best player and works hard every day in the gym to make our team better and continues to just give.
sports I play at Dearborn High are volleyball and softball. Varsity softball all 4 years, varsity volleyball 3 years, freshman basketball freshman year, and then JV basketball sophomore year.
You know, the biggest thing that you get into when you talk about somebody who's coachable is they're willing to do what's necessary for the team, even if it might mean giving up some individual accolades, individual success. You know, that I think would be kind of my definition of a really a coachable person. You know, but ultimately she's somebody who I think, you know, without hesitation, whatever coach you need me to do, I'm willing to do it just because it's going to help the team be better.
And one thing that was asked of Naveen was to be a leader.
I made sure that each person was, you know, doing their job, being set to a high standard, but also having fun at the same time. And having fun is what makes a team, and have everyone have good chemistry, and it helps people win.
Playing backstop was critical to the team's success on the field.
As a catcher, you communicate a lot. You have to be the loudest one on the field, and you have to be the one that oversees everything, make sure people are doing what they're supposed to do. And it's a brutal position, but I love playing.
She's been a part of many successful teams here at our school. I don't think it's by accident that she was part of those successful teams. It just seems to follow her around.
Everyone in Naveen's orbit knows what the most impactful thing about her is.
And I don't know if we've ever had, in my 15 years at Dearborn, I don't know if we've ever had a better person come through our halls than Naveen. I mean, she's just a top-notch person, a top-notch individual. You know, any coach, any teacher would want her on their team or in their class. The ability to be successful on the field, on the court, you know, that's just the icing on the cake.
So Ethan excels on the field, off the field, with maturity, leadership. He's the hardest worker we had on our team. Being part of our team for almost 4 years, he helped lead us to great success.
He does the right things on and off the court. He's a leader for our group, and he carries himself the way that you want someone to carry yourself around. So.
He's a multi-sport athlete, so he's able to just use his body and just in different ways and just kind of display that grit that we need to get through games and just find a way.
For Ethan, one pillar to his success includes being there for his teammates.
If I don't have to play, but the team wins, that's a great thing. I always put in the team first. I want to see others succeed the best I can. When everybody succeeds around me, I know I'm doing a good job, the team's doing a good job, and yeah, great benefit from that.
Ethan's definitely a team player. I've been coaching here for a very long time, and when I think of the definition of a team player, Ethan would 100% be on the top of that list. He's absolute pleasure to coach, and his teammates love him and just leads by example.
Ethan is extremely dedicated to being the best athlete he can be, and it's something his coaches have seen throughout the years.
He's an amazing leader. You know, we have a really young team, so he helped our young guys with everything and made sure they understood how things go. He's just an amazing kid on and off the court, and the way he carries himself for a divine child, it helps to go a long way for everybody. So.
Yeah, I remember at the end of the season just talking about Ethan, and he maximized his potential on the field and just really helped us get to success. But when I think of Ethan, just when we come to him not being around and you feel the effects of that, it's just something, a player we're definitely going to miss.
We nominated Jamal because he's the ultimate team player. He has great school spirit. In my opinion, like no one plays harder in our basketball, in our league. He has an intense school spirit. I call him Mr. Intangible because he brings all the intangibles to the table. He is like the first at practice, he's the last to leave. He's great with the younger players.
Jamal's a team player. Anything coach has ever asked for him, he'll do, whether it's a position change, anything he'll do for his team or coaches. One of our captains on our varsity football team this year, he led by example, he was vocal, and I think a lot of our younger kids looked up to him.
For Jamal, his teammates are what drives him in all sports.
Really what I like about being a high school athlete is just motivating other people. Like I see the young people on the team. I always try to help them out. I always try to help out with my extra time. I come out, I wake up very early. I wake up at 5:30 every single day so I could come in the gym with most of them, help them train, help them get early, help them get better. Like I said, no one wants to see Etzel win more than me. I promise you that. So I'll do anything, and I mean anything, to see Etzel win. I would put anything on the line. I'll put anything on the line for my teammates and for my coaches.
There are many reasons why Jamal has excelled as a high school athlete.
Great kid, great student, big heart, works his tail off every day. I had him in football and never had to worry about him or worry about relying on him. Very reliable, very good personality on him, and just a good human being on top of a great athlete.
We wish we had more Jamals. And you don't see as many kids, I think, who really love being at school every day these days that much anymore, and he genuinely loves being here at Etzel Ford every day.
So Marty, it's pretty rare for us to have somebody, when we start talking about Van Patrick nominees, where it's kind of just a unanimous selection, and we just all think this is the guy. And he was one of those rare people where there wasn't really a debate about who was going to be our male nominee this year.
Marty's nomination goes beyond just athletic accomplishments.
I always wanted to compete in the classroom as well, and it was hard to balance at first, but then you get the hang of it.
Top-notch human being, one of the best leaders we've ever had in our school. Unbelievable academic credentials, high grade point average, AP classes, college classes, and a rare athlete who participated in sports every season of his high school career. His intensity when competing and when preparing to compete is second to none.
And it's that mindset that sets him apart in the hallways and when he's competing.
On the football field, on the wrestling mat, throwing the shot, throwing the disc. Unbelievably intense competitor, somebody that a lot of our younger kids can look up to because he does it the right way.
The responsibilities you have in all three sports as a captain is more of, you have to set like a great example for the rest of the team. There's really no taking plays off.
So he knows, what tips and tricks might be helpful to pass on to the younger generation coming in behind him, and he's always more than willing to share those with the younger guys. But ultimately, he's also a guy who wants to win, and that's something that every coach loves to have on their team, is a guy who loves to win and do it the right way.
And sports here have taught me resilience and leading by example. I think those have been I've carried those all 3-4 years I've been here.
I nominated Abdullah because he is the definition of what a student athlete is. Takes his school extremely important, his sports extremely important. He's on time to practice every day and has well above a 3.8 GPA all the time. He was a captain 2 years in a row for us.
And wrestling, many people think it's an individual sport, but it's a team sport, We have the duels and we gotta compete to win.
As a senior, actually, this year, he actually did a lot of mentorship with the freshmen, helping them excel in their skills in wrestling, and yeah, perfect athlete.
Being a high school athlete, there are a lot of things that I love, It's the people around me, the coaches, everything about it. It's the atmosphere, the friendship you make all along, and the hard work, and it has its highs and lows.
He is an extremely hard worker. He proved to be one of the best wrestlers in the state of Michigan. He's qualified for the state tournament 2 times. All-state wrestler his senior year. Hard worker in this sport. All you got to do is be a hard worker and believe in yourself, and that's exactly what he does. He has the full confidence and full belief in himself.
I've learned in high school sports is that you lose, or anything happens, you got to learn how to get back up. Something happens, you just got to bounce right back, and that's just a lesson in life. So, something happens, you got to learn how to bounce back and come back even harder.